Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Tangle Time Arts. My name is Nana Heron, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And I thought for week 25, we'd try something a little different. Um, I have a lot of the black Zendalas. Um, Working on black is always a challenge for me with the white. So I thought I'd take some time and rise to the challenge. In week 25, I thought we'd look at, I think it's pronounced Ynix. It's very similar to Frondous, but for some reason, Ynix is really challenging for me, and I'm not sure why. So we're going to work through this together. And this is kind of my variation of Ynix to make it a little easier. And I'm going to pair it with my new favorite, Sedgling. And these are both tangles by Zentangle. All right, so for this project, you'll need a black Zendala, a compass. I have a white jelly roll. It's an '08. Um, and I do have a backup one just in case. I do have a number two pencil, a chalk pastel here, and a tortillon just for the chalk pencil. And off to the side, I also have a couple of other colors of the it's the General's pastel chalks, and they come in a bunch of different colors, but I have sap green and pink, along with a Q-tip for blending those. All right, let's get started. We are going to need the compass and the black Zendala to start. And I kind of marked the center a little bit because it can take a little time to find that. So I went ahead and pre-marked that, kind of just approximated it. And I set my compass to, I want approximately a 3.5 inch diameter. So my compass is at about, 175, maybe, give or take a little bit. Um, I don't get too caught up in measurements for these. I'm going to go ahead and put in my guide there, my string, and you can barely see it because I'm working on black, and that's okay. We don't really want to be able to see it, but if we do, that's all right. So we have that, and then with my pencil, I'm just going to kind of pick where I want the top to be. I'm just going to start it here. But we kind of want to mark like a top and a bottom. So I'm just going to kind of mark a little bit a top and then come down to the bottom here like that. And we'll see why in just a little bit. And I'm going to take my jelly roll, and sometimes you have to kind of just make sure they're juicy and they're working correctly. They can take a little bit of coaxing to work there. All right, so at our top, we're going to place an orb, a nice sized orb. Um, I'm going to go over it a second time just to make sure that it's nice and pronounced there. And that's going to be the top of our project, but we're going to rotate this around and work this way with our Ynix. I'm going to start on the left, um, so that that can have a chance to dry while I work on the right. Because if I start on the right, gel pens can take a little longer to dry, and sometimes I don't realize it's wet, still wet, and I can end up with a smear. So for Ynix, we're going to start out. It's kind of similar to Frondous with two seed shapes. So we're going to put in a seed shape, just like we did with Frondous. And then I'm going to put in another seed shape. I'm going to rotate a little bit so I can fit this in. With a gel pen, sometimes you have to go over it twice. So we've got our two seed shapes. But where in Frondous they were, there's kind of a space between them. With Ynix, they are much uh, closer together. Actually, they're right next to each other. And I struggle with putting it right in. I want to put it like in that valley, but somehow it doesn't quite go over to where it needs to go. So for me, I kind of start not in the valley, but a little up from the valley, and I put in my next seed shape. I'm still working along this pencil line. And then the same on the other side. I'm going to start, rather than in the valley, I'm a little bit off of it when I put in the next seed shape. I'm just going to keep continuing that way all the way to our little mark on the opposite side there. So yeah, I don't know. This is Ynix is just a little bit more difficult for me because they are so crowded in together, I guess. But it is a beautiful botanical or like it looks like vegetation almost. Um, so I definitely always enjoy adding to my toolbox of botanical tangles. And of course, to make it more challenging, we're working on a curve here. So yeah, I'm just a little bit off from that valley. And they're getting smaller and smaller as I go along. And that's perfect because by the time we get to our end, I want it to be um, very much tapering off. So yeah, just simple seed shapes, following our pencil line. If you can see it there, you can kind of see it. It's very lightly on there, but it's just our string, our guide, sort of to help us along so that we know where we're going in this case. Just gonna keep on plugging away. I'm grateful to have this time with you. It's been a really busy summer with lots of things going on, lots of challenges. I feel like I'm always running around, so it's nice to have this time to just relax and get this focus, this almost meditative state going on here. Now we can see we're coming up to our I don't know if you can see that pencil mark. There's a little pencil mark right there, and that's my indicator of the halfway point. So I'm really going to focus on making these smaller as we approach that. I'm just going to put one right there. So you went halfway around. And then what I do is I go back in and I ink in these areas here. So that looks a little more like they're stacked on one another there. Again, just a reminder with gel pens, be really careful because they take a little longer to dry. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you can absolutely do this project on a white Zendala with black ink, and it's going to look awesome as well. Once I have that in, I'm going to go ahead and aura around it, and then we'll work on our other side. So I think I'll just start on the inside here. And I'll leave that kind of open because we're going to come around over here. And then I'm going to work on putting my aura on the outside to be kind of careful because I didn't leave myself a lot of space, but that's okay. Again, I'm going to leave that kind of open um, because this is going to kind of meet up over there. All right, so we're half done with that. And we're going to come over here and start the same way. Let's start on this side, make our seed shape. So, yeah, seed shapes. Or they kind of look like grains of rice a little bit. And this is probably, if you're wondering how big it's a little larger than half an inch there, probably the size of my thumb. And then again, stacking on the next seed shapes. And I'm always a little bit above that valley. Um, it's just easier for me if you can get it to work with piling them into the valley. That's awesome. And also, for some reason, going this way is more of a challenge for me than going this way. So those are just some of the things that I take note of, but I don't dwell on it. I just move forward and I get better with each one, and you will too. Just take some practice. But I do love how this looks like some type of vegetation or foliage. And it goes pretty quickly, as you can see. It's not one of those that takes a long time to do. It's just trying to get those seeds stacked in there. You can see I'm coming up on our halfway point, so I probably want to start making them a little smaller. So again, just having that awareness, but just letting it flow, not stressing out about it at all. I'm just going to kind of tuck one in there like that. All right. Now we can aura around this one too, but first I am actually going to just ink in these little spaces here to give it a little more time to dry. And that goes pretty quickly as well. All right, so I'm going to be very careful while that is drying, but I'm going to aura around the inside first. And we're just going to meet up there like that. And then I'm going to put an aura around the outside. Again, I didn't leave myself much space, but that's okay. What I'm going to do is go like that. All right. So something that looks kind of like this. And I'm also going to add a bit of an aura. It's going to go around my original orb there. So something that looks like this, which I really like. It's like almost like a wreath. It looks really cute. Um, and I might have to revisit this one and it kind of reminds me, if it were shorter, a little bit of angel wings too. So I thought for the inside, because we need something, I'm going to put a little bit of the Sedgling in here. And again, I'm going to work from this side. So we're kind of working upside down a bit, but that's okay. So I'm going to start with, I think I'm going to go like this. I'm going to make two stems. So a curved line and a curved line, and then kind of a V going in there to aura these initial stems. And then I'm going to go in with, again, this is my variation. So I'm going to go in with the Printa to kind of make the cap. And then just continuing on around as big or as small as I would like to. And then I'm going to carry on the stem over to the other side. And again, put another portant on that. And I'm going to have another one that's divided. So I've got kind of like a Y stem in there. Let's work on our other one over here. Let's make this one, I'm gonna make this one actually a little longer. And this one's a little bigger, so I'm gonna make that one a little smaller. Maybe come into a Y way up here. Kind of branch that off. I'll make this one much bigger because I've got the space. So just go with the flow and follow your heart as far as size of these. You can absolutely pick how big or how little you'd like to make these. I'll put this stem a little longer and bring it down towards the bottom there. And we can put another one here. This one's going to be smaller because I don't have as much space. And then I'm going to turn this around so I can kind of take a look at it. Yeah, that looks really cool. I am going to finish these off, my little stems, with some little tendrils there. So I'm just continuing on the stem, pick up the pen and kind of travel over and just making this kind of finish in a really cute way. And you can also add a few of these tendrils here and there. Um, Wherever you feel like you could use some interest is where I tend to put some. Really easy to go overboard with that as well. Take it from me. I I know. All right, that looks really cute. That's sweet. So I am now going to put the cap on my jelly roll. Um, just, you don't want that to dry out. The black pens are a little more forgiving. The white jelly rolls, definitely not. So I've got my white chalk pencil and a tortillon labeled WH just for the white. And I'm going to go ahead and add some shading around that. Before I do, I just want to say, because I'm going to add some green chalk pencil to the seed shapes. But what would be really cool is if you would like, and I'll just do it on a couple of them, you could go back in and add like an extra line. I'll do it on both sides here. You could go ahead and do that to all of them if you would like, instead of adding color. And that's going to make it look more like foliage. So that's an option. Let me know if you decide to do that. And I think that would look really cool if you're working on a white tile with black ink too. All right, so I'm gonna add some shading, just a little bit like on the outside here. And once I use the tortillon, it's just gonna blend out. So as you can see, I'm just barely touching the tile. Just want a little bit of the chalk on there. And with the orb, definitely add like a C shape in there. Rotate around and get this area here. So you barely touch the paper and you get plenty of chalk on there. And the same with the inside. I'm just going to add a little bit of the chalk around that inside there. All around the inside. Take back and get this area. I'm really careful not to put my hand on the tile. If you need to put your hand down, I would suggest putting a blank sheet of paper on top so that you're not going to smudge it with your hand. Can happen really easily. Um, and with any art medium, if you get it on yourself, make sure to wash your hands well with soap and water. All right, I'm going to take the tortillon and I'm just going to start blending now, starting in my orb here. And then starting on the outside here. And these black tiles definitely give you that nice kind of scratchy sound with while using the tortillon, which I just love. Shading, blending is always my favorite. I just feel like it really brings the ink work out. And that's when the extra magic happens. And we're going to go on the inside. Same thing, kind of just blending it out. Don't have to do a lot. I mean, it almost does. A little goes a long way, I guess is what I'm trying to say here, because it's the white on the black. So just need a tiny bit. You can always add more, just like with graphite, you can always add more, but it's really easy to um, go a little bit overboard. So I would suggest going light first and then adding if you need to. So we have something that looks like that. And then instead of using the white chalk pencil inside my Ynix and my Sedgling, I'm going to use the colored um, chalks. So I have pink. These come in yellow, orange, like blue, all different colors. And I am just going to add just a little bit here and there. The color is very, very subtle, so Like the pink probably looks white on the screen because it's that subtle. But that's okay because you can definitely do this with white as well. Then you want to blend that out a little bit. If you don't have that many tortillons, and me too, like my tortillons are either for graphite or for the white chalk. So what I do is I substitute in Q-tips. You can always use a Q-tip. You can use your finger too, but Q-tips, and this one is a little bit pink already because I just reserve it for this type of situation. Q-tips work really, really well. And it's something that you probably have in your house. So I would say just go ahead and use them. All right, so I've got a little bit of pink, um, and the color is just really subtle. But yeah, on the screen it looks kind of grayish or whitish. But that's okay. If you're doing this at home, you're definitely gonna see that subtle color. And then for the vegetation, I've got it's a sap green. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add that. I'm just doing the inside first and then I'll do the outside. And the green shows up a little better. If you want more of a pop of color, probably the orange or the yellow. Um, I just was not in an orange mood today, which is funny because we've got fall coming up. So you'd think I would opt for orange, but no, today is a pink day for me. So just adding that green. And then also adding it to the outer layer. Yeah, the green you can definitely see on the screen. And you don't have to do both sides. I'm filling it in so you can see what it looks like and then make your own decision what you would like to do. I like to give you options so that you can explore. Um, and maybe you've thought of something different that I haven't presented here. So absolutely follow your heart and play with it. Let me know what it turned out because I always love to hear from you all. I'm going to use the other end of the Q-tip for my green and just blend that out a little bit. Not a lot because I think it actually looks good the way it is. So just a little bit of touch-ups there. Finish this side. Very, very subtle color. So it's cool. I like that. It's quite different from our other projects. I often like to go with the bold colors. All right. So we have something that looks like this. Really cute, really fun. And again, if you do this on a white tile, there's so much options for you as far as you could use watercolors or markers or colored pencils to get that bolder color. I just was in a real subtle mood today, so this is the result of that. And we'll see where our next project takes us. But this was fun. This was fun. It was good challenge working with the black Zendala and white jelly roll. So I'm feeling a lot more confident about that. All right, let's fill in our information. So we want to probably put in our initials or our chop somewhere. And let's see, how would we want to do this? I think, so for me, I think I'm just gonna like go into put it into as like one of the vines, one of the little tendrils there. So I kind of fit it in. There we go. Fit it in there because I kind of like to tuck it in and so that you kind of have to search for it. It's just a fun little thing that I like to do. And I'm going to flip this over and put my name on it, and it's our weekly tangle. This is 25. So we're 2025. And this is August, 29th, 2025. Yeah, August is almost over. Wow. Um, so we have Ynix. And that's how I pronounce it. Because I'm not sure if there if if there is another pronunciation. If there is, let me know. Um, and this is by Zentangle. And then we also had our we paired it with Sedgling. Forget if there's an E. Let me check on that. There's a no E, sorry. I don't know why I want to put an E in there, so we're just gonna do this. Sedgling. And that's also by Zentangle HQ. I don't know, my brain is kind of sleepy today. It's been a long summer. All right, so that is our Ynix with our Sedgling um, center, and it's a really cute organic piece done in subtle colors today, but this will look awesome in bold, bright colors as well. Play around with it. Let me know if this one's easier than Frondous for you. For me, Frondous was a little more easy. But I like this one. It's beautiful. And I could see using it in many different projects. So play around with it, enjoy, have fun, relax, have a wonderful weekend. I'll see you soon for the next one. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me, and I appreciate all of you subscribing. And I just want to send my love out to all of you. I hope you're having a good day. I'll see you next time. I love you guys. Bye.